morning is continuing. We just spotted something off through the thick stuff there. Let me try and show you what we saw. Oh, you can actually just see it. Never would have spotted that if we weren't looking in the area already. But look right there. Just there. But I tell you what, we're going to get closer. Guys, updates. Mododa Ingwe still on the bumper. Quarantine. Hey, this is a good morning. Switch off. Oh, easy radio. Guys, if anyone's responding to the Ingwe sighting, Andrew, you guys, when you get me visual, you can just pull in. Andrew again.
Everyone? Humble. That's strange because somebody up there that is not equal to it. Yeah, there.
Hey guys, I'm going to turn my radio down just now, but just to confirm, you'll have an easy visual of our Mova from Philemon's cut line. You can just pull in when you get me visual. Oh, wow. It's eating a bit upside down there. Now, if you've maybe missed a few drives over the last couple of days, this has been a sort of unfolding story. It's been a great story. Started with finding these guys on foot. Brent, Scott, Stefan. One of these guys, this guy, Quarantine, the male leopard. He killed a young but adult female kudu, which is a very impressive kill for him. Probably about 3 times or more his own body weight. And then the whole drama ensued from that. The hyena stole most of it. He kept some of it, which is what he's eating at the moment. He's moved it. He's had it up a couple of different trees. We sat with him last night for a beautiful, probably hour and a half or so. And now he's having another meal. Wish I could say that looks tasty. Feels like he might feel the same. I think it's... Can't quite see if it's a bit of a hair or something, but it seems to be stuck in his teeth. That's actually quite funny. The benefit, of course, of keeping the food up in the tree like that is that he's managed to keep it through the night. The hyenas would have definitely been past here again. In fact, I can see a hyena track just where I'm sitting with a vehicle at the moment. So having it up in the tree means they couldn't take it, means he's got another day of eating from that kill. So he's actually got a pretty good run from that kill. And this is the 3rd day now on it. It's down to mostly the skin now, so he's actually eating some of that sort of sinewy bits of it. But yeah, it's good to see. Not only that he's killed a big prey species, it's always a good thing for a young leopard, knowing that he can take down larger prey, but also that he's got the ability and the experience now to make sure that he gets good use from it. He doesn't just lose the carcass quite quickly to other predators. So it's gives nice confidence to see that this guy's future is looking good. Hello, Rena. commenting on those beautiful whiskers. Now, leopard have got probably the most spectacular whiskers of the big cats. They really do stand out in more than one way. Rena's just asking if they would help the leopard sense danger. I mean, my basic answer would be not sensing danger as such, but it would certainly help the leopard be in tune with his surroundings under sort of exciting moments, if you want, especially during hunting. Those whiskers play a big role. You can see them. Look at how wide they are. Beautiful wide whiskers, much wider than the head, even wider than the shoulders or the rest of the body. So that's key for them when they're busy stalking something and they're moving really slowly. It can take seconds or minutes sometimes just to move 1 foot. And if it's pitch dark and there's no light, those whiskers can actually feel its way through the bush. And then I guess you could say that those whiskers would help the animal sense when the danger is gone. And what I mean with that, Rena, is that when they grab whatever they're hunting by the throat, let's say a bushbuck or an impala, something with horns, a warthog, something that can actually not only injure but even kill leopard. Leopards have been killed by prey species, bushbuck and warthog probably being the two main ones up there. Those whiskers are touching the skin or the throat of the animal as they're suffocating them, and when the heartbeat stops, when the bushbuck or the warthog become a carcass, that moment when the life ends, the whiskers can feel the heartbeat stopping. So you could say that the whiskers help the animal sense when the danger of the prey is gone, if you sort of follow what I'm trying to say there, Rena. But very sensitive, both in terms of the leopard knowing where he's moving through, but also very important use of it is to tell when the prey has died. This is something that often has people curious or has people interested, and that's the fact that this meat is obviously not fresh anymore. In fact, it is properly rotten by now. It's now 2 days later. It's been relatively hot in the day. It's been quite moist as well. Lots of humidity, so it's been rotting nicely. Rotting along nicely is what I mean. Catherine, you were just wondering, how is it that animals can eat that? I made the comparison the other day of all the things we can eat as humans and survive with that. If we had to feed about 95% of things that we eat to a leopard or a monkey, they wouldn't last too long. So it's just about being adapted to your different diets. For your predators, leopard, lion, hyena, wild dog, that's what they eat. That's no problem for them. Now, to me and you, it might not seem very pleasant, or we even know that it might not be good for us, but for them that's no problem. Their stomachs are very differently designed from ours, and is designed or has evolved to be able to digest meat of any age or condition. There, my further out a vehicle. I'm sure there's someone that wants to come have a look as well. I'm just going to give the game drivers an update. I switched my radio off earlier. Guys, my radio's been done just to confirm if anyone should join the Ingwe sighting Philemon's cut line. just keep coming towards Philemon's dip direction from where the bomber was in the beginning. You will see my mover off to the eastern side. You can just pull in. Mobile looking for the Ingwe. I can hear a mover come in. Guys stationed with the Ingwe, if you can copy me, Philemon's cut line. Just drive on Philemon's cut line itself heading north, in other words from towards Philemon's dip side. You will see my mover off to the eastern side. Yes, I can hear a car. I can't see one, but I think they're looking for us. Very well noticed there, Anna Marie. I was actually going to mention it and then something else caught my attention, but if you look very carefully you'll see it again. Just now there you can see it. Anna Marie is asking, why is the leopard licking the meat so much? It's partly because most of it, or a lot of it's finished now, so it's not that easy just to cut sections of meat off using those side teeth, the carnassial shears. It's now got to get down to the meat that's still on the bones, to the meat that's on the inside of the skin. And leopard, like other cats, they've got very, very rough, almost like sandpaper-like tongues. If you have a house cat and you've felt a tongue before, it's quite rough like that. So it's like that, just sort of times, 50. And that is for licking or lapping up water. It's one of the practical sort of reasons for it. But just as importantly, it allows them to get hold of those little bits of meat that they wouldn't be able to get hold of with the teeth. There you can see it. Look at that. Perfect. Exactly what you were asking about. So the leopard is actually getting hold of the food with his tongue. There is a hyena. Not too much to worry about for the leopard, but there is a hyena approaching just here off to our left through the undergrowth. Coming to have a look, see if there's any scraps falling down. Obviously smelling the carcass. This hyena wasn't here before. You can see it didn't walk straight here. It was actually following the scent. Now it's looking up at the tree thinking, no, I'm a hyena, I can't climb up there. But experience has told them that if you sit around for a bit, something might drop down, might find something that I can eat. There you can see, awesome. The leopard's relaxed. He knows that he's got his food up in a good place. Nothing to worry about. Ephraim again.
2.
Ephraim again. Sorry guys, the game drop just going right past there. Ephraim again. Guys are looking for us, but they just drove right past. Sorry about that, but these are the same guys that help us find other things again, so we work together. Ephraim again. This is not one of the biggest hyenas in that clan. Guys, just again to put it into perspective, we are not far away from the hyena den. We're looking at about 600, 700 meters, less than a kilometer, half a mile, maybe a little bit more than half a mile. Hello Jan, and great awareness there. It's mentioning the bird calls. One of the calls you can hear is a puffback shrike, very well ID'd. Can't mimic it perfectly, but sounds about like that. And then I haven't specifically noticed myself, but very, very possible that you heard a brown-headed parrot. It's difficult for me to always hear all the bird calls. You actually have a better position where you're sitting to hear the birds than I do. Whoa, there's a... What was that? Looks like a tawny eagle that just flew past here. Look at that. Stunning setting as well. I mean, the leopard itself obviously beautiful, but also the whole... What's the word? Setting around it, for lack of a better description at the moment. Big, wide branches, heavy branches from this marula tree. Perfect tree for a leopard to sit in. Love that composition as well, for those of you that enjoy the photography aspect of this. Love the shapes in this. The branch at the bottom or the branch at the top. The shapes. Branch going into the background. And also almost the dappled color, if you want, of the tree itself. The leopard is having a look at the hyena. I'd expect that this leopard will finish off this carcass or this food during the course of today. I think by this afternoon, tonight, this leopard will be done with it. I'm hoping that Q decides to go and spend a bit of time around Treehouse Dam, maybe by this afternoon. That's the closest water. Also the quarantine area that is named after Gowrie Waterhole down towards Wetella Lodge, also not that far away. So I'm hoping that he's going to stick around.
Three Yoni just south of Second Rock.
Well, we have a curious mind asking a curious question, and I believe you on Twitter referred to as curious. Guys, it's always nice for us to get first names. My name is Pieter Pretorius, if you're new on the drive, and when we answer your questions, it's also good to know where you're from, but lovely to know your first name. The question there is just that you're curious whether Kunuma, who's the brother to this leopard, the guy we're looking at now is called Q. He's got a brother, same age, obviously 2.5 years, whether he's maybe started his journey into adulthood, which the next step for that journey is to leave the area. It certainly is possible. I've had some reports that he's been seen further to the south by the guys from Aretusa. And yeah, I haven't actually thought of that, but it is imminent. It might happen any day. We said so the other week. It could be in the next day or two. It could be in the next week or two, but it's not going to be in the next few months. It will be sooner than that. So that is certainly a possibility. I hope not. I would love to see Kunuma once more in the next couple of days. We've got a little bit of a sort of a happy banter going on about it, but this is... any leopard is my favorite leopard because they're all stunning. But Kunuma, the brother to this guy, is probably my favorite, and I know that this is HD's favorite. He's had his first sighting here at Juma back last year was of this guy. So you do develop a little bit of a sort of a soft spot for certain of the individuals, as I know many of you know. So I hope that Kunuma hasn't moved off again. But Mvula's been around. Mvula was seen last night, that big male leopard that Hayden had, who's the father of this male and his brother. But it is also that stage where he will start putting pressure on them. So I hope that Kunuma is still around, but he might have moved on again. It's a very, very valid point. Well thought, well asked. And this is what leopards do. All cats are great at keeping themselves clean. All animals, in fact. You have to keep yourself clean so you can stay healthy. But leopard are right at the top of that list when it comes to keeping themselves very, very clean, very tidy. And you can see this one at the moment, even though we can't see it. Busy grooming himself, cleaning the nails, cleaning the paws. They will use the paws to clean the face. So using the tongue and the paws in a combination, they will clean their whole body. Ah, they're beautiful. Look at it, and it's like, this is what I remember from this time around being a Juma. It's just obviously stunning leopard, and also at an age where they're really beautiful. But I find myself so often just sitting here going, this is amazing. I'm sitting with a leopard right here in front of me. Hyena just sort of taking it easy, hoping for a scrap or two that might drop down. But this kind of thing where you're sitting, I mean, look at this. You're right here by this leopard. This is something that, there's the hyena. Can't see him well, but it's just there. Here's the leopard. I mean, you could literally almost grab him. It's something that, it still makes me feel like this, just to experience it. And yeah, this is the sort of the postcard setting for seeing a leopard. Well, good question there. I'm going to answer it for you very shortly, Shanae. Look at that heavy tail as well. This is a perfect view of the leopard's tail. Leopards have got quite heavy muscle tails compared to other cats. Because they're so good at climbing trees and so often do, that tail will help to balance them or counterbalance them while they're climbing around. So the tail is very important as a balancing tool, obviously also for communication amongst the leopards, and even for sometimes touching each other. You can see how they touch each other using the tails. Shanae is just asking about the tree itself. Now this is a beautiful big marula tree, but it is autumn now and not that many leaves on it, and you were just wondering if it's not open enough for vultures to get in there. Certainly it would be possible, although most big vultures, keep in mind, let me put this into context for you. That leopard would be give or take about 1 meter nose to tail. So that distance from there to there would be the equivalent of one wing of a big vulture. So if a vulture was sitting here with the wings open, it would be the width of that entire branch. So difficult for them to get in there. Some of your smaller vultures, the hooded vulture, for instance, they can get in there a little bit. Wahlberg's eagles are good at that as well, but keep in mind, there's a leopard right there as well. So vulture's not just going to sort of fly in there. Maybe once he's left, then there'll be a couple of the smaller vultures getting in there. They might drop the carcass down, giving access for the other ones on the ground. Hyena may be waiting around for it. So the story is not finished. Everything gets used in the end. And if the vultures don't get to it and the hyenas don't get to it, the flies and the insects and the ants will make the most of it. All clean, all groomed. From the nose to the toes, all is clean. So that means a little bit of sleep time. He's just not quite finding the exact comfortable position yet. Let's see if he finds it. We might move a bit, but I think he's actually going to sleep now. Not just be lazy. I think he's going to sleep a bit, if he can get comfortable, of course. I believe a few people are talking about this in Twitter mainly. Guys, remember, if you want to ask something or mention something or even just leave a comment, you can do so by emailing at questions@wildearth.tv, or Twitter feed is nice. It's like a conversation. There are different people that can give you information even within the conversation. For tweeting, #Safari Live. And please remember, if you have a specific question, in other words, if you specifically want to ask something, we do try and answer as many questions as we can, especially questions that are relevant to what is going on and what we're experiencing. But it's always nice to have your real name when we talk to each other. But one of the sort of conversations going on at the moment is, how long will this leopard stick around? The hyena's decided that's it. That food's not going to fall out. The leopard's falling asleep. I'm going to go home. I love hyenas. There's something so... I don't know. I'm not eloquent enough to describe what I'm trying to say now, but they sort of don't really care, and they're sort of happy to just change their mind if they change their mind. You know, sort of like a... I don't know, sort of like the happy surfer dude kind of approach to life sometimes with hyenas. I quite like that about them. But coming back to the leopard, how long will it be before he kills again? Or how long can he go now from this food? Now keep in mind, it's been 2 days, 48, give it actually a bit more already, going into 3 days that he's been eating this. So he's really had a good opportunity to fill his stomach a few times. And he could go now a week without eating, comfortably. But most likely this afternoon, tonight, he might make a bit of effort to hunt again, and if he gets a good opportunity, he'll take it. But if I had to sort of give a sort of an average statistic for it, I would say that in the next 2 to 4 nights, he should make another kill again. 2 to 5 nights. So it's Friday today, maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday. Here by Monday, Tuesday, he'll be making full efforts again to hunt. But for now, a good sleep is in order. Colleen, this is an excellent question. It's a question that I like answering, and I like it when people think about it. Colleen is just, you're just wondering, do hyena ever hunt on their own? And hyenas are actually very good hunters. I think for many reasons which we're not going to go into now, but there's often a bit of a misconception or misperception of hyena. They are very good hunters. As social animals, they can hunt in packs, similar to what wild dogs do. And a lot of the stories, they make the good bad guys for a story. Now, if you look at anything from Lion King to many documentaries, lions make good guys, and hyenas make good bad guys. And it's often portrayed like that. But there are areas, I know in the Delta there was an area for a while where the guys studying the predator interactive relationship, they noticed that the hyenas were actually making more kills than the lions, and the lions were then scavenging off that again. So it does also happen the other way around, but the main competition is often or normally would be between hyenas and lions. One of the greatest documentaries ever, I think, the story being told, which was called Eternal Enemies. I think, if I remember correctly, it was done by the Beverly and Derek Joubert. Amazing filmmakers, great people as well, and that sort of told that story. But point is, Colleen, is that they can hunt for themselves. In Sabi Sands, however, because there's so many predators, leopard, lion, wild dogs, most of the time we experience or see hyena other than at the dens, or we're just sort of finding them when they're walking around looking for food, is at carcasses. When they hunt themselves, it will be almost always at night, and similar to wild dogs, when they've made the kill, they will eat most of it and be done with it. So it's also just a sort of opportunity for us to see it is much less. Lions and leopard often hunt early morning, late afternoon, where hyenas are only getting active then. They hunt more at night as well. So it will also just be less opportunity for us to see it. I wonder what the rest of the morning's going to bring. Stefan and them still looking around and tracking around. Not sure where HT is at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if he maybe feels like coming to have a look at this guy towards the end of the drive as well, seeing as it is his favorite leopard, and seeing that it is in a beautiful tree. We'll chat to him in a bit, see what he's up to. That's a happy leopard. Perfect tree, he's found his comfortable position in it. Doesn't have to worry about any other predators being around because he is safe up there. Good day to be a leopard for this guy. And he is actually dozing off. His eyes are just open, but you can see those sort of long, slow blinks. We all know the feeling. What a great setting. I imagine if you're just driving through here or walking through here, even better. You might be walking here, and I think you could agree that you could easily not see that. Perfectly camouflaged, lying still like that, you could be walking close past and not even see it. So it's always, always, always very good to keep your eyes wide open when you're walking. Also keep in mind your senses are really alive when you're on foot, because you know that you're in touch with everything. So from the smallest track to the biggest animal, you have to look out for them and be aware of them, all the sounds, all the sights. And I think you're going to experience some of that now. You're going to get on foot with Stefan and enjoy that. He's got a few interesting things to tell you. There's always something